from four individuals breaking into a house, but quickly fleeing when the armed owner confronted them, to a tragic incident where a young father faced violence in front of his family during a home invasion, to a brave woman who protected her children by confronting the armed robber, and a man pretending to be a candy seller with intentions to break into the house. These are the most disturbing home invasions ever captured on camera. A guy named Joseph Ibrahim decided to create chaos by breaking into a home in Portland. Armed with a tool, he smashed a window, startling the family who was enjoying dinner. John, the father, bravely confronted Ibrahim, who was reaching through the broken glass and attempting to enter. In the scuffle, John was hit with a piece of his own fencing that Ibrahim had dismantled.
Suddenly we heard an explosion of broken glass. We didn't know what it was.
My youngest son was screaming. I didn't know what was going on.
Undeterred, John armed himself with a cat-scratching post until his 12-year-old son brought him a baseball bat. With the situation escalating, the family feared for their safety, unsure of Ibrahim's intentions.
I ran at him and tried to push him and his arm out of the hole in the window, and he was looking at both of us, actively trying to get into the house, to get to us. I don't know what he had in mind.
The mother took quick action, hiding her children in the bathroom and arming them with knives while she called the police.
I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know whether the guy had a knife or what was happening, so I grabbed my children. But it was a while. It took them a while to come.
Unfortunately, the response time was slow, and when the police finally arrived, they discovered Ibrahim sitting on the porch, giggling and boasting about scaring the family.
If I hadn't been here, if things had gone differently, I have no idea what would have happened.
Ibrahim now faces charges of burglary, criminal mischief, and assault. A restraining order has been issued to keep him away from John's family.
$250.
Despite the legal actions, the family remains terrified to return home, especially the youngest son, who was deeply affected by the traumatic incident. John hopes that, with time, the family can overcome the fear and return to a sense of normalcy. As for Joseph Ibrahim, he's currently behind bars on $100,000 bail, a consequence he rightly deserves. In East Charlotte, a family went through a nightmare when two burglars busted their glass door to get inside. The family had their security game on, but these sneaky intruders found a way around it, causing chaos and grabbing valuable stuff. The owner gets a ping on her phone, and bam, their security cam catches these crooks in the act. She's watching it live, seeing them invade the kitchen in broad daylight.
I got an alert on my phone that said our camera had spotted someone. I opened the app, and when I opened it, I saw an actual human standing in our kitchen. Panic sets in. It was terrifying. I didn't even have to pull up full screen to have my heart just stop and sink. It was about 1 minute and 58 seconds. And now they take some more stuff, and then they both run out.
To make it worse, these burglars were armed, and they made a quick exit before the cops could swoop in.
So police! Police department!
Sure, they took off with valuables, but what really hits hard is they snatched a safe holding the grandma's ashes. That's not just stuff, it's a piece of the family's heart.
Knowing that you can feel so comfortable and then have that taken away in a moment's notice is very unsettling.
Here's hoping these burglars get caught and face the consequences of their actions. These four masked guys think they can just kick down someone's front door and waltz into their house, but little did they know the homeowner was ready for them. The homeowner comes out packing heat, and suddenly the invaders aren't feeling so tough anymore. Instead of the smooth home invasion they planned, it turns into a full-blown shootout. It goes to show you never know what you're gonna get when you mess with the wrong house. And yeah, that Second Amendment sure came in handy for self-defense. A family in Greensboro went through a terrifying home invasion around 3:30 in the morning. Jessica McCaws, her husband, and their son were all sound asleep when this armed guy shows up and starts causing chaos. The guy tries to break the handle, bangs on the door, and then peeks through the back door like he's looking for a lost pet.
You see he's trying to either break the handle or knock on the door really hard.
McCaw's husband goes out and comes face to face with a weapon-wielding maniac. He rushed back in, and McCaws dials 911.
Right there, that's when he seen me. I seen the gun.
Now, here's where it gets intense. The armed guy starts firing a weapon all over the place, breaking glass and creating chaos. Luckily, nobody got hurt. Even their son, who's snoozing away in the next room, somehow stays asleep through all this madness.
He just came into our house like it was okay. Scared. I don't know if I should sleep in my living room and put my whole family into one room. I don't know if this guy will come back and come to our bedroom window and just, I don't know. And I'm frightened for myself and my family. You can see this is where the bullets came through the window. I am extremely frightened. I feel violated. I feel scared. And I'm sorry if I get emotional, but it's terrifying to know that you don't feel safe in your home.
Despite the damage and the fear, the family is just grateful they're physically okay. But let's be real, after something like that, who wouldn't be scared to live in their own house? In Modesto, it's a horrifying scene as 3 armed men make a young father open his own front door. The poor guy's left with no choice but to let them in, and once the door cracks open, the nightmare begins. As these 3 intruders storm in, another trio follows right behind.
They're dead asleep. They're dead asleep. I swear to God. I'm opening.
What's your name?
I'm opening.
What's your name?
Hold on, I'm opening.
Imagine the kids are inside the house while all of this unfolds. The armed men demand to know where the money is, and tragically, they take the life of the young father.
There's kids in the house?
Yes, please. Hey, Robert, that's all I asked for, bro.
Where's the money at? Where's everybody at? Where's everybody out?
Sheriff's Department. Sheriff's Office, County Sheriff's.
Get over here. No. Get in the middle. Relax. Now. I got nothing, bro.
It's just heart-wrenching, truly the worst thing that could happen. There's this bold guy trying to break into not 1 but 2 houses in broad daylight. Armed with his toolkit, he goes to town on a door, then a window, and even a sliding glass door, but no luck. In his desperation, he grabs a shovel, manages to break a latch, but still can't get in.
He came across his shovel, and he used that shovel to break the sliding glass door latch.
Undeterred, he moves a few blocks away and, within 50 minutes, tries his luck at more houses. After a series of attempts, he strikes gold, successfully breaking into one house. And just 30 minutes later, he strolls out with a bicycle and a bag full of stolen goodies.
About 15 minutes later, after unsuccessfully gaining access to that home, he broke into another home, which just a few blocks away. We're looking for maybe a police officer or a detective who may have had contact with him in the past, may recognize him.
This guy has got some serious nerve. In Dallas, this guy decides to break into houses, and at around 6:30 in the morning, homeowner Pam Miller finds herself face to face with the intruder after he kicks open the front door.
The bedroom door and locked the door. Meanwhile, I had grabbed the pistol.
Quick thinking, Miller, armed with a weapon, locks herself in the bathroom and dials 911. As the man tries to kick open the bathroom door, Miller fires her weapon through it, narrowly missing him.
Basically, I was just going to do whatever it took for me to survive. You never really want to take anyone's life, but it was either going to be him or me. Then I was like, oh my God, he is coming towards the door. That's where the bullet hit right there.
The intruder manages to escape with stolen items, leaving Miller traumatized and feeling unsafe in her own home.
I hear any noise, it's very nerve-wracking.
Miller, being a former Army Reserve specialist with experience in handling weapons, stays safe due to her training. But it seems this guy has no fear of bullets, as just 2 weeks later, he targets another home in the area. He casually strolls in, starts grabbing stuff, attempts to pry off a TV, and even uses a cloth to avoid leaving fingerprints.
Just a blessing that no one has been hurt. People are being prepared now. They have handguns. They're going to protect their homes and their loved ones. And if he, don't go ahead and get caught or whatever, he's going to go and break into the wrong home, and someone's going to be there waiting.
Clearly caught on camera, let's hope this guy gets apprehended and ends up behind bars. 2 masked bandits attempted a daytime break-in at a house in the Encino area. Unaware that they were being watched by a camera, they peeked through the window and eventually smashed the door. Once inside, they went upstairs, grabbed valuables, and on their way out, one of them tried to alter the camera's direction.
Yelled and screamed, and so they didn't want to cause any trouble. I think they just wanted to run.
We did not see any weapons in their hand, but they all had backpacks.
Just days later, another robbery occurred in the Encino area. This time, 4 individuals attempted to break into a house during the day while the owners were home. They entered through the neighboring house under construction. Upon encountering the owners, they fled upon realizing they had been caught.
I've been living here for 30 years. I never had this incident happening in our neighborhood.
She doesn't feel, none of us feel comfortable. I go to work, I'm worried.
Fortunately, in this case, nothing was stolen. It raises questions about whether these 2 incidents involve the same troublemakers. There's this guy going around selling candies, right? But he's not as innocent as he looks. When the owner of a house opens the door to buy some candy, 3 men burst in, turning it into a scary home invasion, and the candy guy makes a run for it. You can hear the woman inside screaming in terror. Earlier that day, a neighbor's security camera caught the same candy guy trying the same trick at another house. But luckily, that homeowner didn't open the door.
He was very fidgety. He kept looking over his shoulder. He was kind of like, rocking left and right, like he was just very anxious or nervous about something.
In another incident in Oklahoma, a homeowner answers the door only to find 2 robbers pretending to be maintenance workers. Even though the homeowner tries to resist by pushing the door shut, the robbers overpower him. They even point a weapon at him and force him to lie down before taking his phone and keys.
Pointed the firearm at the victim there in the living room, made him lie down.
Well, it's a good reminder not to open the door to strangers. Mark, the homeowner, hears some serious knocking at his door. He decides to check it out and sees 2 people outside, one of them wearing a mask. Feeling like there might be trouble, he heads back to his room, grabs his Ruger AR-15, and loads up a magazine with 5 rounds. Just as the 2 guys manage to open the door, they're met with Mark standing there with his weapon. It totally freaks them out, and these tough guys suddenly become not so tough as they run for their lives. Mark really did a solid job protecting his home. In Richmond, 2 guys show up at someone's house and start knocking on the door. As the door opens, 2 more guys come around holding weapons. The person inside the home quickly realizes something's off and wisely shuts the door, making the armed suspects run away. Opening the door to random people late at night requires some extra faith in humanity. Lesson learned, it's probably best not to open the door to strangers. In Fremont, California, a group of 5 burglars targeted a home around 9:45 p.m. Using what seemed like police-like tactics, they quietly pushed open the double French doors from the backyard, making sure they had every entrance covered. Each of them was armed, with one even carrying a high-capacity extended magazine, showing they meant business. The burglars then waited inside the home, indicating a level of planning and coordination.
Oh, 100%. I don't understand why else you go into a house with 5 guys, each with hand.
No one was home at the time of the invasion, but the homeowner watched the entire incident live on his phone and promptly called the police. The robbers managed to escape with some electronics and other valuable items.
Also, one suspect who has a very distinctive shirt on. We were going through shirts for hours yesterday trying to pinpoint where that shirt could have came from, hoping it's unique. We're just hoping to get a lot of eyes on that video and hopefully get a lead that way.
Considering the fact that all of them were armed, it's fortunate that the owner wasn't home. In Fremont, California, these three guys thought they were slick. Using what seemed like police-like tactics, they quietly pushed open the double French doors from the backyard, making sure they had every entrance covered.
And it just kind of struck, I have three guys in my backyard. They boosted one of the guys up to the second floor window open here, and I could hear him breaking the window.
The burglars then waited inside the home, indicating a level of planning and coordination. No one was home at the time, but the homeowner watched the whole thing go down live on his phone and called the police.
They just kicked out the bottom of the door. They busted it out with something, and you could just hear the glass just shattering. They had so much mud on their shoes that they stepped in the broken glass. It was all over the house.
The burglars snagged some electronics and valuables before making a run for it.
There wasn't a cabinet that wasn't just stripped. Everything was on the floors.
My Mac was sitting on the counter, and they just went by it. They went into my dad's room, his Apple Watch sitting on the bedside table, went right by it. There was a little cash jar I keep in the closet. They went right by it. It was kind of surprising.
They were in the backyard before they came down the stairs from upstairs. Yeah, quite a response.
Considering the fact that all of them were armed, it's fortunate that the owner wasn't home. Some jerk decided to mess with Jaron Burdeen's place. Picture this. It's around 4 p.m., and this burglar chucks a brick at the back office window, thinking he's some mastermind. Well, he got in. Luckily, Burdeen and his wife narrowly dodged a close call because she had just rolled in.
She had just gotten home. She was sitting at the end of the driveway when I pulled up my bike, and she had only been home for a few minutes, so we literally both just missed by probably about 10 minutes.
The thief swiped all kinds of stuff, including a shiny new PS5, some gadgets, and his wife's engagement ring.
This is our space. We work so hard to maintain this space, and knowing that someone just came in and cherry-picked what they liked and put our livelihood in danger just it doesn't feel fair.
Burdeen spilled about how it messed with their heads, violating their space and messing with their lives.
So say we're talking about jewelry, then yeah, we need an appraisal. The more documentation, the better. Model numbers, serial numbers, description of that. So when we're getting reimbursed and the loss provision states that, here, this item is endorsed and we need refunded for it, make sure your personal stuff is covered. Because if you don't carry a renter's policy and the house is vandalized or burglarized, your stuff will not be covered.
Coming together and figuring out who this is and getting them off the streets is just going to clear up that anxiety.
Cops are on the hunt to catch this loser. Over in the Northwest Valley, near Cheyenne and Durango, a house got hit by burglars. These geniuses smashed the glass door to make their grand entrance, thinking they were in some action movie. Little did they know the whole show was caught on camera. They spent a good 10 minutes trashing the place, stuffing a pillowcase with loot, including a decent 55-inch TV.
It's just tough to get that feeling of safety when something like this happens. Every room was tossed, just creating a real mess. We actually didn't sleep here last night.
Now, here's the twist. They somehow missed the high-tech goodies like computers and iPads. The homeowner thinks it might be because their security system spooked the crooks, especially when they stumbled upon a door contact. The moment they realized they might get caught, they booked it out of there in a hurry.
You can see on the video, when the guys notice a door contact on the front door, that's when they go. 4 minutes later, you hear another knocking. This goes on for 11 minutes, and at the end of the 11 minutes is when you hear the window smashing.
Cops were all over the place for hours, dusting for prints and digging into the mess, so chances are these burglars are in for a reality check soon. In San Jose, there's this guy who thought he could outsmart 16 surveillance cameras. This whole drama went down early on a Tuesday, and Heidi Quezada, the homeowner, caught this guy trying to get into her place. The security alarm started wailing, but did that stop our bold burglar? Nah. He coolly picked the lock on a sliding door and just strolled in. Heidi, not one to be messed with, dialed 911 pronto. Meanwhile, the intruder was on a mission, wandering around the house like he owned the place. Heidi, in another room, stayed on the line with the police.
I can hear him rattling around, and I'm telling 911 he's in the room next to me. I was just trying not to hyperventilate, and I was trying to whisper, and I was trying to tell them, I just kept telling him, please hurry, please hurry.
When the guy tried to break into the master bedroom, Heidi had enough. She banged on the door and yelled at him. Not liking the resistance, the wannabe thief made a run for it, skateboarding away like it was the grand escape.
I can hear him wiggle the doorknob. I came out of my closet at that point and started banging on the door from the inside, yelling at him, saying, "Get out of here, the police are coming, they're gonna shoot." Oh, they'll find him. There's enough social media coverage now. Somebody will know him, somebody will recognize him.
Police showed up 14 minutes after Heidi's call, but Mr. Skateboard Bandit is still out there. Heidi went all out and shared the footage on social media, hoping people could help catch this guy. In North St. Louis, a messed up story went down at 2:20 p.m. Two armed and dangerous guys decide to break into Linda Smith's house. They hit two vulnerable targets, Linda and Carmen. Linda, just chilling in a chair, gets confronted by one of these jerks demanding her phone and wallet.
This happened in broad daylight, 10 minutes before 12, exactly what time it was.
I said, "Baby, please don't kill me." I'm like, "I don't have anything," and I mean, I was afraid to an extent, but, I'm just one of those people, I believe in the Lord, and when it's your time to go, you're gonna go.
Meanwhile, the other guy heads to the back room, where Carmen, dealing with mobility issues, is stuck in bed. Now, here's the messed up part. They knew the security code to get in, a code only a few people knew.
It's very shocking and painful and very traumatizing, but, you have to keep going. I can't just throw in a towel and, just live in fear.
This nightmare left these women traumatized, and it happened on Linda's daughter's birthday. Carmen, despite it all, keeps her head high, saying we gotta keep moving forward.
I just prayed that they just got what they was gonna get and just get out of here, whatever they looking for.
Imagine getting robbed in your own home, especially on a special day. They're praying these guys face the consequences for what they did. In Neptune Beach, things got really wild when 3 armed robbers busted into this place, but guess what? The person inside wasn't having it. They started blasting shots at these intruders, and suddenly these tough guys turned into track stars, bolting out of there. One even decided to test their long jump skills and leaped off the balcony. The cops shared pics of the getaway cars, and, surprise, one of the suspects ended up at the ER with a bullet hole. Now, he's enjoying a stay at a trauma center, and the other 2 are still playing hide and seek with the cops.
Fortunately, this homeowner realizes that he has the right to protect himself and his property, and he pulls out his weapon and he begins to fire. And he's well within justification in doing that because he has the right to protect himself. They generally will talk and cooperate with the police to help them find the other 2.
Moral of the story: break into someone's home and you might get more than you bargained for. In Dallas, there's a sneaky duo pulling off a tree trimming scam to swipe stuff from unsuspecting folks. Dick Barr got caught up in their act when they claimed they were doing tree work for the neighbor. While one guy spun a web of stories to keep Barr busy, the other tried breaking into the house. They even had the nerve to check the locked front door, sneak around the back, and slip in through a side entrance.
Guy comes banging at the door.
I'm so sorry for the bother. We was trimming some of the trees for your neighbors.
So they were going to cut some tree limbs.
Meets him here and then takes him down the alley to show him the tree line with my neighbor.
He had all these stories. It was pretty amazing of that he was married and he had these kids, and he was
keeping him talking.
Yeah.
After a chatty 15 minutes, the burglars made a quick exit, leaving the Bars to find a messed up house and some missing bling.
Said, I think I've been scammed, is what he said. Every one of these is open. Everything's on the floor. All of these are opened. Those were my pearls that are no longer there. This had some really nice jewelry in it. It was just on the floor. You had this feeling of helplessness, I couldn't sleep at all that night. It gives me a real sense of urgency because they're on the move.
Turns out these guys have been pulling the same stunt in other places, making them the not-so-friendly faces behind a string of burglaries across the state. In Monroe, Louisiana, things took a hilarious turn during a break-in attempt caught on Trey Thomas's Ring doorbell camera. Picture this: it's 2 a.m., and 2 folks show up at Thomas's front door. One of them decided to kick the door, but, oops, accidentally shot himself in the thigh because he had a weapon in his pocket.
I was in such shock at the fact that somebody was at my front door like that I didn't even think to look at my phone.
Classic blunder. The duo panics and dashes between houses, but guess what? One of them, perhaps feeling lucky, comes back, brandishing his weapon. Thomas, no fan of surprises, rushes back upstairs to make sure his dad is safe. The cops wasted no time and rushed to the scene after Thomas dialed for help.
I could see the one standing in my front yard, and he pulled his out of his pocket right in my front yard. So the first thing I did was turn around and run back upstairs and make sure my dad wasn't in harm's way. There was actually a shell on the ground outside my house from when he shot himself in the leg. So they went ahead and did the crime scene investigation, took pictures of footprints and the shell, whatnot, and they checked the neighborhood to make sure they weren't still around.
Now, here's the kicker. The guy who shot himself in the thigh headed to the hospital for some medical attention. Detectives decided to have a little chat with him, and they slapped the cuffs on him.
My dad didn't know what it was. He realized it was somebody banging at the front door, but he didn't know what it was for. Like, we don't have any reason to have any conflicts like this or anybody trying to break into my home. Out of all the houses on the cul-de-sac, I'm sure that I'm one of the few houses that have a camera on their house, and it just so happened they chose my house to.
As for his partner in crime, well, he's apparently still out there, flying under the radar. In a really unsettling incident, a family in Henderson experienced a home burglary that was all caught on camera. Every homeowner's nightmare. The Hyatt family, armed with several Ring cameras, got a flurry of notifications on their Ring app while they were away on vacation, signaling that an unwelcome guest had made their way into their home. Nicholas and Jennifer Hyatt, believing their home was secured, were shocked to discover that the burglar managed to leap over their locked gate and slip in through a kitchen window. The audacious intruder even tried to erase his fingerprints using a sponge, leaving the Hyatts with a sense of violation.
Had like 12 notifications from that camera, and I was started freaking out.
If I would have just remembered to lock that one little window, he would have not been able to get inside.
The feeling of powerlessness, like all you can do is literally just sit there and watch them.
The next day, they reported the incident to the police, uncovering an unusual detail. Earlier that day, children had rung their doorbell, potentially acting as a setup by the burglar to check if anyone was home.
If they target a house, they'll go and they'll knock on the door and several times to see if anybody answers. This window, can I open it from the outside? Think like a criminal when you're securing your home.
They could have literally just knocked on our door and we would have gladly helped them. They didn't need to steal.
As of now, the Henderson police have temporarily closed the case, hoping for new leads to emerge. In a frightening incident on Staten Island, armed intruders targeted a family's home, which included a wife and a live-in nanny. The husband wasn't home when the invasion occurred around 1 a.m. on Monday. Masked men forcefully entered, demanding the contents of a safe despite the victims insisting there was none.
Imagine a child wakes up to a in her face, being dragged by your hair. It's gonna take a while to get back to herself and to get rid of the trauma.
They kept on saying while they were in the house, cash, where's the jewels, where's the cash, as they were hitting the mother and the kids. They were sleeping, pulling out a 5-year-old in the middle of the sleep, whooping them with the over the head, just dragging her to the mother's room. It's terrible. A reward of $10,000 with any anonymous tip that will lead to the arrests by the NYPD for these perpetrators. I'll turn every stone over to make sure these individuals are brought to justice.
Fortunately, the nanny was not physically harmed. The entire ordeal was captured on camera, aiding investigators as they processed evidence and searched for the suspects. Unfortunately, the suspects are still on the run. Check out these 4 guys who thought they could pull off a break-in in Phoenix. But as soon as they managed to open the door, they were faced with the owner wielding a weapon. Frightened, they quickly ran off. The owner, alerted by a motion sensor connected to their surveillance cameras, armed themselves just in time before the door was breached. The intruders left before the officers could arrive. Picture this: 3 individuals, 2 with their faces partially covered, try to invade a home. Quick thinking by the resident, Samuel Vandiver, involves locking doors and getting his best friend, Arfa, to safety. Vandiver manages to pull Arfa out through a window just in time, but the intruders still make it inside the apartment. Abraham Rodriguez gets caught and charged with aggravated robbery and other offenses, but the other suspects are still on the loose.
And there were 3 guys, 2 of them with masks, completely masked up. I came in, locked the door, and locked the front door, and then as soon as I turn around, I start hearing kicking.
I just remember him coming into the door and slamming it and then being like, Roxy, like, open the window. And I remember not being able to open it because I was like asleep, shocked, and also was a little stuck.
I just started punching through the window in there, and I pulled her out and we ran.
I think they thought that we were someone else. I don't know, because the way they came in was not really worth some laptops.
Both Vandeveer and Arfa, physically harmed during their escape, are now planning to move out due to the lasting impact of this traumatic event.
Cut to the bone whenever I punched the window out, and I had to have emergency surgery. I hope I get full recovery, but it's not looking like it right now.
How are we supposed to stay here and feel good when everything is like a constant reminder of what happened?
You're willing to kill somebody for whatever it is you're looking for.
They're eager to see all those involved in the crime brought to justice. Imagine this. A homeowner is just going about his day when 2 guys stroll up the sidewalk, using it as a cover for their ambush. Suddenly, the one in the red coat brandishes a weapon, but they quickly bolt away. Why the sudden change of heart? It turns out the owner is armed too. He doesn't hesitate to fire his weapon, prompting the would-be attackers to run for their lives. Kudos to the homeowner for swiftly defending himself in the face of danger. It's just before midnight, and 4 guys decide to break into someone's house. They quietly open the door, thinking they'll catch the homeowner off guard. But here's the twist. The homeowner is prepared. He starts firing at them with his weapon, catching them by surprise. Realizing they messed with the wrong person, the would-be burglars make a run for their lives. However, in the midst of the chaos, the homeowner gets injured. Thankfully, he's been transported to the hospital and is expected to recover soon. Talk about turning the tables on intruders. In West Phoenix, around 83rd Avenue and Thomas, there's a trio causing quite a stir in the community. These troublemakers are now under the spotlight for 2 crimes on the same block, and one of them involves a shooting. Armando Garcia, a resident in the area, got a front row seat to the unsettling drama through security camera footage. The video shows 3 individuals armed with high-powered weapons, seemingly scoping out a residence.
Guy come out of that house right there with the white garage door. He was kind of holding his stomach or something. I heard commotion over there, like he shot.
Heavily armed with that AK-47 type rifle.
They eventually commit a home invasion, leaving behind tire skid marks on the curb as they hastily escape.
Suspects ended up hitting the wrong house and got the address wrong.
Crazy, you know, they hit 2 houses on the same street. Most of the people here are homeowners, you know, and they're take care of their residents pretty good, you know, so it's pretty creepy to see that stuff.
Understandably, this has left residents on edge, highlighting the importance of keeping a close eye on our neighborhoods. 3 guys show up at a house, knock on the door, and make sure nobody's home. Once they're sure the coast is clear, one of them kicks the door open. They enter the house, with at least 2 of them brandishing weapons. One guy stands watch while the others grab stuff. Looks like the house is in a rural area. After snatching some stuff, they bolt out of there. Here's an unusual one from Miami. On November 1st, a suspect in all black, with a t-shirt, shorts, socks, sunglasses, and a ball cap, was caught on surveillance cameras targeting a residence. With the homeowner away, the suspect pried open windows and doors, eventually getting in through an unlocked bedroom window. Once inside, he seemed right at home, grabbing a bag and filling it with stolen goodies, cash, cologne, and jewelry, adding up to over $13,000.
This is a quite unusual case. Here you have a man that is completely dressed all in black, walks onto someone's home. Luckily, nobody was there. So he starts prying windows and doors, and he sought the opportunity of that unlocked window.
Now, here's the kicker. When making his exit, the suspect casually walks out the front door wearing the victim's teal shirt.
He makes his way inside, and once inside, he pretends he's actually at home, grabs a bag and starts putting away goods. In there, in that bag, he put in some cash, cologne, jewelry, and was able to actually walk away. But when he walked out, he did it through the front door wearing the victim's clothing. You see him coming into the home all dressed in black and walking out wearing the victim's teal shirt, just casually walking away. He took his time, and he took well over $13,000 in cash and stolen goods. I have never seen a case of this nature. He took his time, but the surveillance homes equipment caught the entire act from beginning to end.
In the middle of the night, 3 intruders quietly planned to rob a home. They walked upstairs carefully without making any noise. The owner was fast asleep, having dozed off while watching YouTube videos. Then they came back to the lounge, armed with knives from the kitchen and a wire to tie up the owners. One of them even grabbed the owner's girlfriend's bag and headed to her room, but had second thoughts and retreated, probably out of fear. As they were moving silently, bang! A surprise for them. The girl comes out with a weapon and fires a shot at them. The owner wakes up after hearing the shots and, armed himself, rushes to see what happened. By the time he reached, the woman had fired another shot, and all 3 intruders were gone, having jumped through the window. They weren't sure if the thieves were armed or not, so they turned off the lights to stay hidden. While firing at the intruders, the woman unintentionally caused some collateral damage, breaking the TV and shooting a bullet through a window. Fortunately, the intruders left empty-handed. That woman surely served them an unexpected surprise. A guy casually strolls onto someone's property, trying his luck with the car's door to see if it's unlocked. Lo and behold, he finds the door wide open and decides to take a seat. Little did he know, he was being watched the entire time through a camera. As fate would have it, the owner of the car appears, not empty-handed but armed and ready. The wannabe car occupant sees trouble brewing and makes a run for it. The fearless owner, not one to back down, takes off in hot pursuit with his trusty dog in tow.
Damien! Go. Better run, it's all recorded. Karen. Karen. Matt. Get in here.
However, the sneaky guy manages to vanish into thin air. Now, just imagine the internal struggle the owner must have faced, the temptation to give that trigger a little squeeze. A family arrives home, completely unaware that they're being followed. As they step into their house, a guy tails them on foot. With audacity, he approaches the driver's window, brandishing a weapon, and starts making threats. The driver is coerced into handing over valuables, while the intruder snatches the car keys from the ignition. Hold on, it doesn't end there. Another guy saunters in, looking oddly composed and unafraid, heading to the passenger side for his share of searching. And the parade of intruders continues. A third one joins the scene, trying to act casual, and proceeds to assist in the vehicle raid. Meanwhile, the fourth accomplice arrives in a separate car, serving as the getaway vehicle. They strategically position it down the road, ensuring no prying eyes disrupt their operation. The trio inside the house doesn't hold back. They scour the car and unload the trailer. It's a full-scale invasion. One of them calls the partner to reverse the getaway car into the driveway for easy loading. After extracting all they came for, they deliver a stern warning to the victim not to move. As quickly as they appeared, all 4 of them hop into the getaway car, leaving the family freaked out and robbed in their own house. It's nuts, and let's hope these jerks get caught for what they pulled. So, you see this car rolling into the garage. Everything seems normal, right? But surprise, it's full of these intruders who've managed to hack the garage door. They've been up to some shady business. The car's got these dark tinted windows, probably for a reason. As they step out, at least 2 of them are armed. Now, the owner, who's at home, senses something fishy. He goes into his room, grabs his weapon, and decides to check out what's happening downstairs. Of course, he's about to meet these 5 troublemakers who are on their way upstairs to search for valuables. One of them spots the owner and fires, but the owner fires back. They panic and run for their lives. Smart move, the owner doesn't chase them. They bolt on foot, leaving their car behind. To make matters worse for them, one genius among them forgets his cell phone and wallet. Well, that's a lead for the authorities right there. Not the smartest bunch, I'd say. In New Orleans, these 2 guys decide to roll up to someone's house in their car around 8:30 in the morning. Their brilliant plan? Breaking in while the owner's away. Armed with tools, they put in some effort and manage to gain access to the home. I mean, wouldn't all that energy be better spent on getting a job? Breaking into houses is definitely not the way to make a living. This loser decides to break into a house just as the owner, Ahmad, and his family leave. He crawls on the floor, hides behind a backpack, and covers himself with a white sheet. In an attempt to disable security cameras, he pushes a Wi-Fi jammer, but luckily, the camera doesn't rely on Wi-Fi to function. Going upstairs, he helps himself to whatever he wants. As he's making his exit, the Wi-Fi reconnects, triggering the alarm. Let's hope this jerk gets caught soon. In Missouri, USA, a guy comes back home around 6:30 in the morning because he forgot something. When he opens the door, he senses that something's off. A car parked in front of his house with 2 people inside raises suspicion. As 2 individuals, who seem to be teenagers, step out of the car and start approaching, one of them wielding a weapon, the man quickly grasps the danger. Reacting swiftly, he gets into the house, locks the door, and avoids what could have been a much more serious situation. It's a tense scenario, and his quick thinking likely averted a potentially dangerous encounter. A California teen went out of his way to perform a good deed when he found a lost purse and a shopping cart at a grocery store. After identifying the owner through the driver's license, he rang the doorbell of Melina Marquez, who was shocked by the thoughtful act. The incident was shared on social media, garnering attention in San Diego. Eventually, 17-year-old Adrian Rodriguez reached out, revealing himself as the Good Samaritan.
There's hope for our younger generation. So my aunt heard the ring go off, and so she opened the door and received the purse. She was a little confused.
It was in the parking lot.
In the parking lot?
Yeah.
So I asked my aunt, I said, did you get his name, or did you at least give him like $20? Excuse me. And she's like, no, I didn't know. And I was like, oh my God, we have to find him.
When asked about his motivation, he mentioned his mom's advice to always do the right thing, even when no one's watching. He emphasized the importance of returning lost items, expressing that if he were in a similar situation, he would hope someone would do the same for him.
He answered, my mom's told me since I was little to always do the right thing, even when no one's watching. So that was nice. Also, he said, if I lost my stuff, I would want somebody to bring it back to me. So 2 good reasons.
If you found him, I put 20. If you found him, I put 50.
Yeah.
So
they
I told that Melina, and Melina, okay, let's do confirm me.
He could have just taken whatever was in the purse, and he didn't. He brought it back, and I think this just speaks a lot about him.
In a heartwarming turn of events, the community rallied to reward Adrian. Melina and her friends set out to raise $1,000 but exceeded expectations, collecting over $3,000, proving that good deeds often circle back in unexpected ways. In Washington, a couple was heading home late at night. As the wife entered after her husband, out of nowhere, a masked man appeared and tried to sneak into the house. Thankfully, the wife was quick on her feet and slammed the door shut in a flash. This is why you should always keep an eye on your surroundings and watch your back. In the middle of waiting for a late-night food delivery, the homeowner heard a loud knock on the door. Thinking it was the meal arriving, he opened the door, but it wasn't what he expected. Instead of the delivery, a group of people attacked him.
Doing? No, what are you doing?
Luckily, he quickly locked the door and avoided serious trouble. Late at night, this guy shows up at someone's place, clearly up to no good, hops the fence like he owns the joint, thinking the people inside are knocked out. Little does he know, the homeowner's wide awake, keeping an eye on him through her camera.
Get the out of my yard. Go. Get the out of my yard. Now. Cops are coming.
Caught red-handed, he bolts out of there, realizing he's not pulling off his sneaky plan tonight. Picture this. A guy strolls into someone's driveway, sets their car on fire, and then makes a run for it. Real low move, right? The homeowner spots the blazing car on their doorbell camera and tries to chase the guy down, but there is no luck.
You mother! You gotta fuck here! Call 911. There's fire right now.
Quick thinking, they dial 911, hoping the cops nab this troublemaker and throw him behind bars. In San Francisco, there's this guy who breaks into someone's house. What's he do? Smashes their TV, wrecks the dresser with a mirror, swipes their bike, and grabs some cash. Like, seriously? Who does that? Barging into someone's place and pulling off such nonsense. A young guy struts up to an apartment building, looking all confident. His game plan becomes clear as he beelines to a door and sneakily peeks inside, making sure someone's home. Figuring the coast is clear, he heads to the backyard, going all stealthy to break in. Fast forward a bit, and the homeowner rolls in, only to be hit with a total surprise when they see the door. In Buena Park, California, there's this guy making regular appearances at someone's place, checking it out. Then, one day, around 5:30 p.m., he rolls up again, this time with two accomplices. They break in, grab cash, a safe box, and some fancy bags.
I'm sorry.
Here's to hoping the cops track these folks down soon. Picture this. In broad daylight, this person hops into someone's driveway, casually checks if the front door's locked, and smoothly gets into the car. Now, here's the twist. The thief decides to take the car for a spin. The owner catches wind of the whole thing and rushes to the front of the car, trying to stop the thief, but no luck. The thief speeds away. Lucky break, though. The owner comes out unscathed. So, there's this guy thinking he's all stealthy, trying to jump the fence to sneak into someone's place. Plot twist, the homeowner's keeping a close eye and catches him red-handed.
You better go back the way you came.
I'm going to my nephew's
Huh?
house. I'm going to my cousin's house. He's here.
So why don't you go through the front?
Because it's easier for the...
When busted, what's his big story? He's just heading to a friend's house. Good thing the homeowner was on the lookout, putting the brakes on any potential break-in. A stranger appeared at a random house, fidgeting with the doorknob. The homeowner received a notification and confronted her. When questioned, she claimed to be searching for something in her purse after spotting the camera.
What, babe?
Hello, can I help you?
Oh, no. I was just trying to find my cigarette, ma'am. Sorry.
Yeah, get out of my house before I call the cops, please. Get out of my house.
Okay, I just stepped.
Okay, there's no
Bitch,
need
I
for you
will.
to be in my yard. Get out of my house.
Okay, well,
I am calling the cops. I'm calling the cops. I have you on video. Get out. Okay, bye. Thank you.
Got me on video, what, looking through my purse?
Yeah, but there's no need for you to be trespassing into my yard looking inside your purse. You could have done
I was
it
just
out
trying
in
to
the
find my
street. You could have done that out in the street.
In the middle of the street.
You could have done it out in the
That
street.
was
You are
bad.
trespassing in my house.
Okay, if I was inside your house,
You
would
are
tell me.
trespassing. You are inside my yard. That is what I'm saying. So if you're looking through your purse, would you please step outside into the damn street and look through your purse?
Apologize. I do apologize that I set my purse on your table to look through my stuff. I apologize, and I told you that I was leaving. So for the unnecessary excessiveness of what you're doing.
Excuse me. No. You are trespassing inside my yard. Just because there's not a fence up doesn't mean you can be in my yard. That's what I'm saying. If you need to look through your purse, please step outside. I'm calling the cops. Okay, I will call the cops. Can you please get out of my yard? That's all I'm asking. Get out of my yard and look through your purse, not in my yard.
It's a reminder to always lock your doors and keep out potential intruders. 4 men arrived at a house in a car, breaking in and swiping the car keys. Dividing into 2 vehicles, they attempted an escape. However, vigilant neighbors intervened, blocking their path. In the ensuing confrontation, the thieves rammed the neighbor's car, causing some damage, but still managed to flee. In Las Vegas, a man arrived at someone's property, parking his car before pilfering yard decorations. Not content with his loot, he then nabbed a bike from the yard, loading it into his car before making a quick escape. Back in 2016 in Palmdale, California, a guy disrupted the festive season by breaking into homes and stealing not only valuables, but also Christmas presents. Despite hitting multiple houses, his greed didn't pay off. Unluckily for him, one of the targeted homes had a prominently placed security camera, and he walked right by it without any attempt to hide his identity. The homeowners, though upset about the stolen belongings, were particularly devastated by the loss of the Christmas presents they had carefully wrapped and placed under the tree. While the thief's actions might have ruined their holiday spirit, the hope remains that justice prevailed and the stolen items, especially the cherished Christmas gifts, were recovered. An elderly man with a package attempted to trespass into a house. Attempting to open the door, just before entering, the owners intervened. Although his intentions were unclear, entering someone's house is never acceptable.
Right now, but if you'd like to leave a message, you can do it now.
No, don't come in.
Don't come in, what?
No, don't come in.
Okay.
Don't come in.
Bye.
This underscores the importance of always locking your doors. A man casually enters someone's property with nefarious intentions, attempting to break into parked cars and searching for valuables. However, a piercing security alarm disrupts his plans, compelling him to hastily abandon the scene. Realizing he's stirred up trouble, the intruder makes a swift escape. This guy strolls up onto someone's porch, acting all innocent while clearing off the snow. But wait, there's a twist. He grabs a package and casually walks away, all while pretending to keep clearing the snow. Late at night, a man appeared at someone's property, triggering a notification for the homeowner. Sensing the need for caution, she asked him to leave.
Hello?
Hi.
What do you want?
Say it.
You leave. If you don't leave, I'm going to call the police.
You sure you do that behind you? You pull all that stuff behind you and you cross the mountain and you come and scoop me up. Yes, you don't know I can't get in and talk to you right now. Understand? Alright.
You need to go. I'm going to call the police if you don't leave right now. I don't know you. You have no business here. All right, I'm calling 911 right now.
Despite apparent difficulty in communication due to a possible disability, the homeowner issued multiple warnings to call 911, eventually leading to the man leaving the property. In Irvington, New Jersey, late at night, this guy's on a mission to find a woman, clueless about where she lives. What's his brilliant strategy? Starts chucking rocks at all the apartments?
Plan okay. Yo, give me this thing though, bro. We about to sit the whole.
Let's hope that this guy gets caught and ends up behind bars. Down in Hialeah, Florida, this guy's up to no good, trying to break into a house while the owner's away. He's got his toolkit, trying to crack open the door. Whether he succeeded or not, that's still up in the air, but let's hope that he didn't pull off his little break-in mission. In the dead of night, these two guys hop into someone's backyard. Intentions? Crystal clear as they sneak around, moving from one window to another, eyeing entry into the house. However, one of them noticed a camera, realizing the risk to their anonymity. In an attempt to conceal their identities, he discreetly covered the camera. At the crack of dawn, 7 a.m. to be exact, this guy rolls up to someone's house, thinking breaking in is a good idea. Lucky for the homeowner, the door's locked tight and his grand plan goes down the drain. Quick thinking, the owner dials the police, and right on time, they swoop in, nabbing the would-be intruder and putting an end to his mischief. Over in the Bronx, New York, this guy pops up at someone's house and starts pulling off some seriously goofy moves. It's like he's got no clue what he's doing or why. And then, out of the blue, he decides to snatch the doorbell and makes a run for it.
Please leave the package outside. If you'd like to leave a message, you can do it now.
You
I mean, seriously, who steals a doorbell? This guy decides breaking into someone's house is a good idea. Inside, he stumbles upon a guitar and starts strumming away, creating this eerie melody. Plot twist, the owner's actually home.
Do I know Wonderwall? Yes, I know Wonderwall. You got a capo? No, it broke. Oh, dude. I got one in the car, right? Hold up. I'll be right back.
Caught in the act, he bolts, making a run for it, leaving behind the weird musical break-in scene. This guy saunters onto his neighbor's porch, slyly swiping their package, all while pretending to be on a trash-picking mission. Mid-getaway, he's caught red-handed with the loot, and the awkwardness kicks in.
Hey, yo! You just dropped the package off and yeah. What's up, man? Hey. What's up, yo? Hacking 24. Yeah. Well, cool, babe. They were trying to steal our package.
No smooth explanation in sight, just that embarrassing moment when he's nabbed by his neighbor in the act of trying to pull off a theft. There's this guy who shows up at an apartment and gets mad at the owner for some mysterious reason, demanding a phone. Upon realizing he's at the wrong address, he apologizes and walks away.
Where did just got off their phone, bro?
What?
Where did just got off their phone?
What phone? What are you talking about?
Bro, stop playing me stupid, bro. Where did just got off their phone, bro? He just told me pull up. So where the he at? I'm right here. So where he at? You talking about? I'm right here at your mama house. Where he at?
You at the wrong door.
Oh, I'm sorry, man. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry.
All right.
This is why you should double-check the address before you go getting all fired up at someone. In Las Vegas, there's this salesman showing up at someone's house. No answer after ringing the doorbell, so what does he do? thinks it's a good idea to relieve himself right at the front of the property.
Can't answer the door right now, but if you'd like to leave a message, you can do it now.
Just then, the girl comes out to check who's there, totally clueless that this guy's turned their front yard into a makeshift restroom. In the dead of night, around 2 a.m., these two guys show up at someone's property. Their excuse? They left their phone at the store, and somehow the address is pointing to this place. They're trying to sweet-talk the woman into opening the door.
Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, can I
Hello?
help you?
We came here
Yeah?
because a phone had got locked. We had left the phone in the store, and the address popping up here, saying it's in this house.
I
The
don't have a
location.
phone. There's
Huh?
no phone here.
Well, the location say
There's
it's
no
here.
phone here.
The location is saying this is the exact location. It gave y'all address 4701 12th Avenue.
There's nothing here. I haven't left this house today. There's nothing here.
Somebody you stay with? Anything?
No, he hasn't left the house either.
Well,
what
I'm
is
sorry
he a
to
black?
say, but
No,
the
is he
phone is here, man.
is he a black male?
What the dude? You gotta go before I call the cops. You're on my property. You gotta go.
No, I understand what you're saying, but I'm saying the phone tracked it to this address, so we came to see what's a phone
That's
here.
not my
That's
problem. There's no phone here. I keep telling you that. No, there's no phone here. I'm telling you that.
all right, no problem. I'm sorry.
Okay.
What's fishy? There's a car waiting for them. The lesson here, no matter what, don't open your doors to strangers in the middle of the night. This guy and his lady appear on someone's porch in Garland, Texas. Now, here's the kicker. The guy's clearly under the influence, dead set on getting in, convinced it's his house.
That's not her house.
Eh?
Babe, that's not her house. Come on.
Oh, eh?
Despite his wife's attempts to talk some sense into him, he's determined to open the door. Failing in his attempts, he eventually stumbles and falls to the ground when walking back to his car.
That is not her house. Come on. Allá está la casa, mamá.
Okay. Bye.
You're gonna wake them up. Come on.
It's a clear reminder not to get so hammered that you can't even recognize your own home. There's this person, totally under the influence, stumbling up to someone's house, belting out a tune while knocking on the door. Now, either he's disturbing everyone's peace at night, or maybe he's pulling a tricky move, hoping the owner will fall for it and open the door.
You say he's just a friend, and you say he's just a friend. Oh, baby, you got what I need. And you say he's just a friend. You say he's just a friend. Oh, baby, you got what I need. You say he's just a friend. And you say he's just a friend. Oh, baby, you got what I need. Just you. You say he's just a friend. Come on, dude. You say he's just a friend. Oh, baby,
Either way, not the kind of serenade you want on your doorstep. A porch pirate arrives at someone's house in his car. He has some real cleverness. He swiftly hops out of his car and uses a cardboard sheet to dodge the homeowner's doorbell camera. His plan is clear: grab a box filled with a whole bunch of things and leave the scene as fast as he came. It's like he's got this mission to snatch up as much as he can without getting caught. In the vibrant city of San Francisco, a doorbell camera caught a rather suspicious person approaching a home, armed with some tools, hinting at a potential break-in attempt. However, as he attempted to open the door, the homeowner spotted him on the doorbell camera. Concerned, the homeowner quickly asked the guy what he was doing there.
Hey.
Realizing that he was being caught, he swiftly ran away from the scene. In Chicago, Illinois, this person rolls up to someone's house, claiming his dog's lost. Now, he rings the doorbell, but the homeowner's on top of it, opening the door before the guy can spin his tail. Smelling something fishy, the homeowner wastes no time telling the visitor to hit the road.
Hello? Have you seen somebody with a dog? Get the out of here! Get out of my yard! I saw you on camera!
No room for debate. The guy's left with no choice but to make a hasty exit without any further arguments.
That door is closed! Ain't there no f***ing gangway? Let me catch you in that f***ing yard again! The f*** out of here!
A person with a covered face pops up at a random house in the dead of night, armed with some tools and clearly up to no good. The second, he spots a vigilant doorbell camera, his not-so-friendly intentions become crystal clear. To ensure his secretive mission goes off without a hitch, he destroys the camera. It's like he's dead set on making sure there are no prying eyes on him, all while keeping his mysterious mission under wraps. A car thief, attempting to escape the clutches of the police, decided to take refuge in front of a random house, hoping to offload the stolen vehicle. Unfortunately for him, the police were hot on his trail, spotted him, and promptly arrested him.
Get on the ground now! On the ground! Do not reach for that! You understand me? Get on the ground now! On the ground! Hands behind your back, goddammit! Get on the ground!
Hey, there's a guy in this place. All right, what's the story?
Hunter. Yeah, it's breaking down, Hunter.
That's how these was.
Let's get him off the porch for now.
Hey, bro, whose house is this? There's nobody in this house. Police department. Ma'am, could you step out, please? You're okay, come on. Hey, is there anybody else in here?
It looks like his attempt at evasion hit a dead end. In a tragic and horrifying incident, a 60-year-old man visited his brother's house. After some conversation, he took out a weapon and committed an unthinkable act, resulting in the loss of their lives.
Hey, what's up? What are you doing? Come to the case. We came by to see Mom. She's not here? Where's she at? In Missouri? What's she doing there? Well, she's living with Lorinda's mom, who's taking care of her. Really? Yeah. Well, how long's she been there? About a year. Really?
The motives behind such a devastating act are difficult to comprehend, leaving many questioning what could have driven him to commit such a heinous act. This guy just decided to snatch this woman's purse in broad daylight. Like, he literally swiped it and made a run for it in his car. Talk about nerve and speed, right? This guy, who might have some serious anger issues or a mental problem, went all Hulk mode at his neighbor's house. He started slamming the door with a bat, and just when you think he's done, he switches to the neighbor's car and starts giving it the bat treatment. Like, seriously? That car probably needs therapy now. This guy definitely needs to face some consequences for his wild bat show. These two contractors are just out there trying to make an honest living, and then these armed clowns decide to show up and ruin their day. They whip out weapons, threaten the poor workers, snatch their wallets and phones, and make a speedy exit.
What's that, bro? What's that, bro? Let me move, bro. What's that, bro? Let me move, bro. Get down, bro. I would blow this bitch. Oh, I love her. Oh, mamas. Hold on, get his phone, bro. Check that shit, bro. I gotta break that shit.
Seriously, stealing from hardworking folks? That's just some low-life behavior right there. This woman's just doing her thing, entering her house, and out of nowhere, this shady character decides to play stalker and follows her right in. Stay alert. You never know who might be lurking around trying to invade your peaceful abode. This guy swipes a car right under everyone's noses. They even tried to play hero and stop him, but nope. The thief just hit the gas and vanished into thin air. And to make matters even wilder, his partner in crime pulls off the same stunt with another car nearby. This is what happens when someone tries to drive under the influence. Jail for DUI is probably the least of his worries. He's lucky he didn't end up causing some serious harm to himself or others. These three masked bozos thought they could just waltz into someone's house uninvited, armed with their burglar starter kit or whatever. First, they couldn't even figure out how to open the front door. Then, when Plan A flopped, they thought they'd get creative with Plan B. Well, surprise. The homeowner woke up and sent them packing.
Out of here. What are you doing in front of my house?
Looks like these wannabe burglars need to go back to thieving school because breaking and entering 101 is clearly not their strong suit. In Lebanon, a bold intruder targeted the home of a celebrity. After breaking in, he was creeping around. The husband, who's a celebrity dentist, came upstairs to investigate the noise. Encountering the intruder, who brandished what seemed to be a weapon, the dentist complied with the intruder's orders. Later, it was discovered that the weapon was fake. As more people from the house came upstairs, the intruder faced confrontation and was driven off. Meanwhile, the homeowner retrieved a real weapon from a safe and fired 16 times at the intruder, incapacitating him in the daughter's bedroom. The intruder faced the consequences of his actions, a lesson learned the hard way. Hold on to our final clip, which is the most scariest and most creepiest one, and if you like what you saw, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss out on our Around 10 in the morning, this guy shows up at someone's house, right there visible from the highway. And what does he do? Tries to bust down the front door like he owns the place. Now, the mother is inside with her 10 and 3-year-old kids, minding her own business. She hears a banging noise and peeks through the window, only to see a guy going all Hulk on her door.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
I would do anything to protect my family. All of a sudden, I hear some banging noise. I thought it was maybe my dreams or something. They were screaming and crying hysterically because they were afraid of either, anything happening.
Quick-thinking mom right here. She dashes to the bedroom, grabs her weapon, and gets ready to defend her terrified and crying kids. So, the guy breaks in, thinking he's all tough, and bam! There's the mom, armed and ready. Scared for his life, he bolts out of there, looking back like he's just seen a ghost.
He was running for his life. And he kept looking back and making sure that I wasn't going to just shoot him in the back. My kids.
This is why you shouldn't mess with a mother protecting her children. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can stay updated with our latest videos.